Hey guys, hope you are doing well. I am. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Moss here. Hope you're doing well. Got people all over the world listening in. It's really fantastic how fast we're growing. We're getting more and more momentum because what I do works, and it doesn't take decades. You don't have to have faith in it, trust in it, anything like that. It's a hell of a lot faster than say psychology or anything that you've done. Um, and so please, those individuals who are experiencing an XI life now and seeing those changes rapidly, please comment in. Let me know what's changed for you. I know there's a lot of good comments already. We'll get to that. So the first half, if you're new to Moss on Sunday, is that I talk about the deep science on why things are the way they are. uh, a perspective that's different, very very different, because it comes from the outer limits of space and time. What that means simply is that I've had two near-death experiences. I see things from an outside world, not this reality. And as Einstein said, if you can't solve solutions, you can't solve anything if your solutions are coming from the reality or the consciousness that the problem exists. So, and that's why the solutions and opportunities that I offer you, including again, literally rewiring you at a genetic level to transform your life the fastest way possible, come from uh, an outside source, your higher source, if you want to call it. If you are a spiritual person, you might call it your spirit. If you are of a science person, it's the first principle method. That's what we're going to be talking about. So the first half of the first principle method on what three rules that can immediately change your life. So the first half is the deep physics on certain subjects. Again, in this case, in this today's scenario, or today's episode, we're going to be talking about three rules that can immediately change your life. On the second half, I'll be analyzing individuals. If you're new, welcome. And what analyzing mean is that I'll tell you exactly what's going on with you without you having to tell me. All you have to do is go, "Hey, Moss, can you scan me or analyze me?" And I'll analyze you through two near deaths. I can see anybody, or I can analyze anybody's life, dead or alive. Doesn't really matter. You don't have to tell me anything about you. You don't have to tell me your real name. You don't have to send me a picture. Again, nothing like that. It's far more advanced than what you might go, well, he's psychic or he's intuitive. I'm none of those. It's just a higher level of consciousness that I live in. So I can help you live into that higher level of consciousness where, well, you age younger, you have abundance. And most people think that abundance, if they become successful, like have a hell of a lot of money, and then they're happy and then they're going to be healthy and stuff. A lot of times it doesn't work that way. I'm not saying if you don't have money, you're happier. You're not. Either way, it's not about the money, but it's the level of consciousness that creates, say, happiness or abundance. I have a lot of tons of high level clients. They come to me because they have everything and yet they're not happy. Right? That doesn't mean that you have nothing and then you'll be happy, is my point. So just be aware. Just be aware of that. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Again, it's not the money or the things that you do. And this is the key or the intro to three rules that can immediately change your life. Uh, I saw this, and the reason for this is that I was looking at Joe Rogan and love the guy, and he had these rules that changes your life. So I listened to him, and basically he's just saying you gotta just fucking work hard. And that's his terms, fucking this and that, and you just gotta work hard. You gotta just put the pedal to the metal. You gotta put down your rules, and then stick to them. You have to be persistent. You have to bulldoze your way through. You have to be you have to motivate yourself. And so these rules aren't nothing new. And then there was something else, five rules that can change your life immediately. And it was pretty much the same thing. You got to write your rules down. You got to have a specific vision of where you're going. And you got to, uh, you know, you got to be disciplined, and and then I saw the next one. It was like 10 rules that can change your life, and it's pretty much the same thing. You got to work your ass off, and which is true. But then the problem is that it works for some and it doesn't work for others. That's the problem. A lot of people, put down New Year's resolutions by the end of January. They're back to their old standard. In fact, over 90% of goals that are set never work out. So why is it that some individuals, they set a goal or they just visualize something and it works out, right? Why is it that success comes a lot easier for those individuals? Why is it that a lot of things come easier for those individuals than some others, right? So why are all those variables out there that afford others, simplicity, the lucky ones you might call it? Or are they lucky, or is it something else that's going on? And we're going to get into those three things. Actually only one thing, but you can make it more specific. But three things that affect how successful or how happy or how fast you can change your life. Again, these are the first principle method. So let me talk about the first principle method. What is the first principle method? The three rules expanded, and then how to apply these three rules immediately. So and these do work for each and every one. Absolutely. That's the key. These three rules will work for each and every one. So let me say that again. These three rules will work for each and every one of you. Because many of you are starting to think, and I can analyze you. Many of you are starting to think, it's like, shit, I've done everything. I've gone to all these seminars. Sometimes I've paid hundreds of thousands to go to these seminars, and my life is still the same. What the hell is wrong with me? Why is it working for everybody else and not? Most likely, there's really nothing wrong with you. It's not really working for anybody else either. They're having the same problems, although from the outside, it might look. You go to a seminar and everybody's, jumping around and they're happy and all that stuff. And on the surface, they look great, but on the inner side, on the core or on the inside, they're probably just as unhappy as you. So again, it's not necessarily you. It's just that how you're applying whatever that you're applying is the issue. You just don't know what to apply. I'm not saying those rules are wrong, though. You should goal set. You should have discipline. You should, work hard. But is there an easy way even to do that? And these are what I'm going to be talking about, these three rules. So the first principle method, what I do, called exponential intelligence, the body of knowledge that I didn't create it, I tap into. I've created a nice handbook for you, the body of knowledge that I tap into to massively transform my life in hundreds of thousands. It's called exponential intelligence, XI. We have an XI community here. So welcome all. The first principle method that XI is based on, and whatever I do is based on, is the top level principle. You can't break it down any further. So what that means is that there are no exceptions to the rule. So if there are exceptions to the rule, it's not at the top level or it's not at the first principle. So that's the key. It has to be at the first principle to make it work for everyone, and that these logistics or XI rules or concepts work for everybody. It's a lot like gravity. If you look at gravity, it doesn't matter if your skin color, your ethnicity, whatever it is. It just works for everybody the same way, same thing, all the time. There's no exceptions to the rule, right? The principles of, well, how this reality works, the physics of this principle, electromagnetism, gravity, how the sun works, all those things. Again, all those are first principle, say, methods, or they work on the first principle. So in psychology or in human, say, the human consciousness or humans in general, they think that success is something out there. It's not as clear. It's vague. Psychology is vague. It's really not. If you get to the first principle, it works for everybody all the time. So the first principle, again, think of a rule that you have or a belief that you have. Okay? Could be a religious belief, it could be a political belief, it could be your belief, it could be whatever belief. Think of a law or again that's out there in today's society, like morality, for example, that I talked about last Moss on Sunday. Think of anything, and then are there exceptions to the rule? If you go higher and higher and higher and higher, eventually there will be no exceptions to the rule. Think of any science, say methodology or science discovery. There's a ton of exceptions to the rule. So again, not at the top level that we need to be in science. I have a lot of kids. I have 6 kids, lovely kids, and they always ask why. Why is this? And then why is this? So basically, if you keep asking yourself why, why, you'll eventually come to the first principle, right, or the first reason on why that situation is. So, so that's the first principle. Let's move on to the 3 rules explained, because that's more important for you, and then you'll understand why. If you rule your life through the first principle method, it'll work for you each and every time. Through the 3 rules explained is one is that you have to be observant of you. Right? That sounds kind of strange. So I'm not saying being present. That's very different than what I'm talking about. I'm talking about understand or notice yourself. No matter what you're doing, observe yourself doing it. That sounds kind of strange, but give it a try. It gets you out of your mind. It puts you into reality, the reality that you're in. Right? We're going to be talking about realities and consciousness in space-time in just a few minutes. But again, if you analyze yourself doing everything while you're doing it, okay? So, like for example, me, I'm talking here right now. What is my body doing? I'm not thinking in my mind. I'm not thinking of the next thing or anything else. I'm analyzing, say, you would or I would analyze my body as I am speaking here. So I'm moving my hands, I've got my feet on the ground, right? If you're driving a car, right, where are you? Usually you're not in your body, not in yourself, right? Not in your state. Again, this is very different than being mindful or being present. Because when people say mindful and being present, they're really not present or mindful because they're not aware of their body. They're aware of their thoughts. Your thoughts are very fluid. They can go in and out of reality. They can put you somewhere else. So being present doesn't work out. Again, stay away from that. Stay with your body. If you're driving, for example, you would notice your hands on the steering wheel. Hopefully, right? Your right foot on the accelerator. If you've got a manual car, left foot maybe on the clutch or the brake. Notice where your left foot is if it's not on the brake. Again, all the details. Notice how, say, your clothes fit while you're driving. Notice whatever it is, again, about your body. Notice, say, the wind on the side of your face if if your windows are open or if you've got the air on or whatever it is. Again, notice those details. Just give it a try for a day. Okay? I give this suggestion a little deeper, through, I call it spatial referencing. We do this on the 18-day meditations, and I call them meditations, but they're actually hyper advanced knowledge or information, or basically a rewiring of your identity wrapped up in a meditation. So you transform your life literally in about 18 days, a lot less. A lot of people transform or start to transform in a lot less days, but in 18 days. So the 18-day meditations, take a look at that. Again, very different than meditation. Let's take a deep breath in, and we'll start to turn it into a meditation as we experiential talk, as I give you the other 2 rules. Uh, Yeah, a breath in and just notice again your throat while you're listening to me. Okay? Let's just make it easy. Let's just make it applicable so you understand it. People who've done this, they actually can get off their medications. Their psychotic, drugs or antidepressants or whatever it is. Sometimes people who are really, really jittery or they float out of their body. You know who you are. It pulls you back in. Some of the worst things is your phone or your computer. Right? You see people, especially kids nowadays. Right? They're on their phone. You look at them and they're not there. Their shell is there, but they're not there. Right? It means that, well, their essence or their guidance, their pure self is escaped. It's gone somewhere else. You probably do that as well. So when you're using your phone, be observant of your body using your phone, whatever that you're looking at. You'll see that your phone experience will be a lot better. So some people go, well, you should just stop using your phone. No, you should stop how you're using your phone. You'll be amazed at how refreshing actually looking at your phone is. A lot of people use their phone as an escape. They literally escape this reality because for some reason they don't like it. They want to get away. They want to, they want to create another reality. But again, that's momentary and it doesn't satisfy you. In fact, it distorts you or destroys you even more because you would prefer that reality, which isn't, say, real because you can't take your body with, instead of this reality. So, but when you flip it around and notice your body, again, as you say, hold your phone or do anything while you're washing dishes, while you're in the shower, right? People go, well, I got to do this, right? They write down their mental notes. I've heard that in motivational, save time. And while you're taking a shower, write down some of the things that you need to do in the day. Don't do that. It's the worst thing you can do. Plus, it slows you down, and you never get the shit done that you wanted to write down on your list. Right? Because you have to drag your ass. You have to basically, literally, sorry, you have to drag your body in consciousness along with to get. Not only do you have to drag your body, but then you have what you want to get done. So again, it takes it creates a burden for you because you're not in space and time. Okay? The higher logistics is that first principle, all these rules put you in space and time. Okay? And when you're in space and time, and I'm going to explain just a little bit about that after these three rules, what happens to you. But when you're in space and time, a lot of cool things can happen automatically for you. Right? This is how to get you in sync with, say, the frequencies of the universe, the planetary systems, for example, how the sun goes up and down, the logistics of how your blood pressure goes up and down as if you're running, right? You automatically again adapt to the state of your body, right? All those things are automatic. You actually get to sync again, sync together or harmonize with those say, natural, say, actions of the universe, nature, and then your body. When you start to apply these three principles, and that flow again makes your life a hell of a lot better and can change your life, transform your life really, really, really fast. I'll get into the science in just a few minutes. The second rule that you can do is is um is ask yourself why you're doing something. It's like, why am I doing it? Okay, and keep asking yourself why. Okay, what is the underlying reason why you're doing something? And and just to make it clear for you, it's not, well, it's like, I want to go to, I want to make money. It's like, well, you ask, well, why am I making money, right? And you go, well, because I want to live better, I want to be happier and stuff. Those aren't the reasons. Those won't make you happy. So if you've ever set a goal, right, or if you ever achieved a goal and then you realized that, shit, the surface level is, well, if I make money, I'm going to be happy, and then I'm going to attract a lot of guys think this way, right? I'm going to attract a hot woman, and she's going to make me happy, and then life is all good. Like I said, I know a hell of a lot of people that make a lot of money, and yeah, they might attract somebody, but it doesn't make them happy, and the money didn't make them happy, right? Or again, you set another goal. You want to do this by Monday, and it's going to make you happy, or it's going to help you achieve something, and then, well, it doesn't make you happy. You just basically are recycling yourself. So when I ask you, why are you trying to, say, achieve this goal, keep going deeper. There's usually one reason why you do everything in life. That's what I want you to get at. Okay? There's one reason why you do everything in your life. One frequency that dictates everything you do in your life. I can't say that enough. Right? And you go, well, no, there's so many. There's not. Whether you're making love, whether you're making money, whether you're washing the dishes, it literally is one reason why you do everything. You have to find that one reason. Okay, let me give you a clear example, because I know this. You might go, well, gosh, this guy is vague. What the hell is he saying? Why am I doing this? Well, everybody needs money, right, and to survive. But people have money, like I said, and they don't survive. People who don't have money aren't surviving. So they're starving for that one thing that they really need. Okay? So, for example, why somebody might make money, and this is a real case scenario. Um, um, I'll give you a real client, very young individual. He was never good enough. Never good enough. So he really, really tried hard for his father, for example, for his father to be impressed by him. 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old, 10-year old. He gets really good grades. He goes to high school, gets straight A's. Valedictorian. Again, I think he was a um, football star or soccer, whichever one. I forgot. Anyway, top notch in his class. He goes to college. His father's not impressed. Father doesn't care. Father's not impressed with him. He's not connected. So he's always trying to prove to himself, actually trying to prove to his father that he's worthy of being here. Okay? So he makes a hell of a lot of money, over $100 million a year, by the way. Right? He's a top level lawyer, top level lawyer in his industry. And he comes to me uh, and he goes, "Ma, I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied. I don't think I'm good enough." So his reason for making money was showing his father that he's worthy and he's good enough. The girls that he connects with doesn't make him happy. So the underlying reason in this scenario was that he wants to do X, in this case, make money because he wants to impress his father. So that's the point. So understand in this scenario, understand why that you want to become successful. Okay? Some people go, I just want to be happy. That's not the real reason why people want to become successful. That's not the real reason why people want to get married or get connected to somebody. That's not the real reason why people want to have health. Let me give you another example, and we'll go to the third principle. This example is somebody who is um, um, really say addicted to working out. Okay, uh, whether they were overweight or not, it doesn't matter. In this client, um, she had a nice body. She had a nice body, and then she starts working out, really developing herself, really starting to take care of herself, right? And then, well, she starts getting addicted to working out. You've seen those people, right? They go to the gym all the time. They can't stay away from the gym. If they miss one workout, it's all over with. They get hypersensitive, and she keeps working out and working out and working out. She gets really meticulous on what she eats. She gets oversensitive on what she eats. She literally disciplines herself, right, by not eating certain things. Or again, that there's nothing wrong with that, but why is she doing it? And that's the third principle, by the way. So just merging into the third principle as well. So it sounds really good, right, at the surface level, but then she starts getting addicted to working out. That's the point. She starts getting addicted to working out. So for the purpose of her, she wanted to stay healthy. She wanted to look good and attractive. But over time, this happens to a lot of models that I work with as well, right? They're very beautiful, say, 10, at a 10 level, gorgeous. But then over time, they starting to become insecure, and then more insecure. They start to see the blemishes on their skin, right? And it throws them off. And then they start to get older. Same thing with this lady. And again, a lot of you, you start something and it sounds really good. Or say that you have addictions, right? Alcohol or drugs or whatever it might be. And then you transfer your addictions into something else, something that's good. Say like working out, and then that becomes an addiction for you, and then it becomes abusive for you. Something that looks good on the outside, it's like, hey, I work out. You know, just 1 second. Or from something from the outside, this lady, she's working out. That's awesome. She looks great, but then on the inside, she's a hot mess. She has to keep working out. Otherwise, if she doesn't work out, she looks in the mirror, right? And although she looks the same, literally from one day to the next, you can't, you can't deteriorate that fast, right? It's like, Moss, I didn't work out for a day, and like, I don't know, I don't feel good, I don't look good, So she gets hypersensitive to the way she looks. So in those scenarios, say you're married to somebody like that, or you're dating somebody like that, it would drive you freaking nuts, wouldn't it? So something good turned out bad. So again, understand the underlying reason why you're doing something, even if it's good. Understand the underlying reason why you're doing it, and again, you'll start to see why. In this scenario, well, um, uh, I forgot the reason why, so we'll move on. But again, a childhood trauma or something like that. Again, she didn't feel right about herself, so she always has to, again, create that sense that she's perfect in every situation. So unfortunately, so again, something good that turns out, say, disastrous for you. So understand the underlying reason why. The other aspect, the third aspect of that is, what consciousness level are you doing it? Okay, because it's not about, understand that. Actually, there's four, but we can. I'll talk about that as well. Uh, for you to get back to the second law that you can do, the second rule that you should do, is that start to understand patterns in your life, not situations in your life. Okay, algorithms. Again, Facebook uses it to study you, to see what you're going to do in the future. I use it to, again, analyze you, and I can know exactly what you're going to do in the future. So algorithms have been proven to be very, very successful. That's why you get those ads that you don't even know that you need it, and it's like, shit, I need that. Well, that's, again, algorithms. Again, I use it. Nature uses it. Science uses it to predictive programming, predictive modeling, predictive, say, vision. Again, me seeing in the future vision with high level accuracy, over, I would say 98, 99% accuracy on what I see. I did a vaccine talk, by the way, vaccine and how it affects your future. Take a look at that. Very, very different talk than, all the stuff that's out there about vaccines. Again, I'm not against or for, I'm just telling you, if we do X, what happens in the future. So it bypasses, say, the logic, not the logic, it bypasses the facts and bypasses whatever, because you can have all the facts here physically, right? And then you do it, and then something very, very different can appear as a result of what you thought the facts were. So again, through predictive vision, I can see what's happening in the future on, say, in this case, the vaccine. So take a look at that talk, and hopefully the team will put it on there for you. So back to the consciousness that you're existing in. So one, oh, sorry, forgot the rule, sorry. So you want to understand the algorithms or the patterns that you do. Okay. So not situation by situation. So if you're, say, like dating, for example, look at how all the people you've dated, what are the similarities? What are the patterns that are running in that situation? And don't go, well, this person was this and this other person I dated was very different. Okay. Because you're looking at, say, the differences. Start looking at the similarities. You'll see that, yeah, they might have been doing very different things, but the end result is they made you feel the same, right? Look at the patterns in money. Look at the patterns on how you rule your life. And you'll see that, again, there's usually, again, one algorithm that dictates why, not only why, but how the end result of your life situation that you're in currently is about. So start to understand patterns, start to observe patterns, and I'm helping you instill this, by the way, not just telling you about it. Start to observe, start to understand those patterns that other people are doing, okay? And you'll start to see, it's like, oh, God, my friend is like this, her next step will probably be like this. So when you start to analyze patterns in other people, you start to analyze patterns in yourself, and you go, shit, that's why. So you get to know the underlying reason on why that happens. The third thing is understand the consciousness that you are doing it in. Okay? So what is consciousness? Well, consciousness is basically a set of principles that you exist in. So no matter what you do, well, those principles exist within that. So consciousness, again, it's kind of like I don't want to get too into it because that's a whole lecture talk that I've actually done on the lecture series. You know what consciousness is. It, it's not what you do. It's not how you do it. It's the consciousness that you exist in while you're doing it. Okay? So what that means is that because people get confused on if I did this, it's good. If I did that, it's bad. Right? You get into bad and good, but look at the end result of why you're doing it. Again, a takeoff from the second rule. Look at the end result of why you're doing it and look at the algorithms. So the reason or the purpose why everything, say, turns the same way in your life, say like bad luck, right? Or good luck or whatever it is because you're involved in you're creating your life in a consciousness that dictates that those rules that you're going to find out by the first two have to say create itself. So if you live, say for example, and I'll just give you, if you live in a consciousness, or if you exist in a consciousness, or if you create, which is all the same, in a consciousness that, well, you're in a consciousness of abuse. No matter what you do, you're going to be abused. No matter what you do, make money, make love, whatever, like I said before. So start to understand that it's not necessarily what you're doing and how you're doing it. Okay. Although this will get you to the most important reason. Um, it's the level of awareness that you're doing it in. So as you are doing whatever that you're concerned about, understand the underlying reason or become aware again of your body, and you'll go, oh shit, you know, this is why I'm doing it, and this is why I'm getting the results. So it sounds kind of vague, but again, just ask yourself. It's like, well, what level of consciousness am I doing it? The advanced students obviously will get it, but again, ask yourself, even if you don't understand what I'm saying for this third principle, like what level of consciousness am I doing it in? What state am I in while I'm doing it in? And just to give you a very simplistic, again, very simplistic example, um, say that say that you're unhappy for some reason. You're unhappy for some reason, and you go do something fun, right? You don't have fun. Simple as that. Right? Again, this is a very, very simplistic reason for you. I'm not saying change your emotions. I'm just saying is like if you again and again, it's not about your emotions. It's not about changing your mindset here. It's not about psychology. Okay, your whole essence that you create yourself in again is in a state of say sadness. Again, beyond your emotions. So no matter what you do in your life, and this is probably whoever I'm analyzing, again, no matter what you do, no matter what emotions you have, you're going to be sad. So again, understand the consciousness or the world that you create yourself in or render yourself in, or what is the base lens that you look at life through. And you'll see that as you start to become aware, again, you elevate your consciousness, and then you might do the same thing uh, with very different results. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a 5-minute meditation, guys, and then we'll jump into the analysis. Again, let's take a deep breath in, noticing where you are. You might have been feeling different already. Um, and then another breath in again. And then noticing your spine. Just notice your spine. So all this is about time and space. If you're in time, again, that's a consciousness you want to exist in, being in time. So what does that mean? Not being on time, but being in time. So as you notice your spine, notice your sternum bone, and notice how you feel. Notice that I didn't change your psychology or your situation, but why do you feel different? And it didn't take that long, especially with my abilities upgrading. Think of something. Think of a problem that you want to solve. Notice that in this state, it's more solvable. You have better ideas. It's easier to solve. So that's the state of consciousness you're in, or that I've brought you in. So you see things from a different point of view. You have different opportunities for you. Again, prove it to yourself. Think of something. Think of something that you want to do or you want to become. Is it more plausible for you to acquire it or achieve it in this state? Again, wherever you are is still the same, right? Your wealth. For example, your situation, your living situation, but it seems more plausible. So when you create from the moment of time that's happening now, you have access to become abundant or change your life rapidly. As you take a deep breath in, move that further. Notice how, say, settled almost all of you are. Or calm. And it's non-emotional. I didn't change your psychology. I changed how you render yourself, basically bending space-time. So you can create or you can be here. It's very different than, say, just meditating or, again, mindfulness. Breath in again. As always, we'll merge into meditating for the world. Everybody wants to do their best, right? But in today's world, everybody's best is very different. Today's leaders, their best might not be what's best for you. But everybody says, hey, I want to do the best for you. Well, if they do, let's help them. Let's help you. And the way we do that, and collectively here and throughout the world, is we go to the first principle of what's best. Bypasses your beliefs, society's beliefs, and again it goes to the first principle. What's best for humans, no matter what color, ethnicity, age, gender you are, and then beyond. So take a deep breath in. So helping the world leaders operate what's best from the first principle. Because best should be best for everybody. If it's not the first principle. And it gets us into the same garbage from the past. So take a deep breath in. You can imagine a world leader if you'd like. As a note as well, in your life and the world, if you start to operate from your best, a lot of times the things that aren't the best for you or the world have to fall apart in order for the new to grow. As you take a deep breath in again, notice how you're feeling. We can stay in this space. And what we'll do is that, yeah, we won't take a break. We'll just go right through. We'll just drop into the analysis part. Since you all are in that zone, don't want to break it for you. So before I analyze anybody, I have to read this from our lawyers here. This is Modalities, Sunday, June 13th, 2021. Again, Modalities with exponential intelligence. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't diagnose or heal. I'm not a financial analyst. I can analyze your frequency signature and tell you what I see. So please consult your doctor for professional advice. If you ask to be scanned today, you are agreeing that we may use your session on any public media to help inspire others. So remember, if you don't want us to use your session, then don't ask to be scanned. It's really straightforward. And then all contents are protected by copyright. You may not use our content in any way, shape, or form for any purpose without my written permission. And then if you ask to be scanned, please ask it once. Because if you keep asking, it messes up the flow, and then also I won't pick you. Okay, so Alrighty. And the way the scan works, again, with my abilities, I don't need to know anything about you. And the reason why is, if you want to know the science behind it, okay, is that everybody has an IP address. So no matter, say for example, you send out an email on your phone. You send out an email on your phone. You send a text on your phone. You send whatever on your phone. It has like an IP address. It's like, hey, it came from this phone. Okay, so it doesn't matter what source, and you can't. In this scenario, you can't cover your IP address up. So with that in mind, everybody has a frequency or an IP address that I can tap into. Simple as that. You can change your name. You can't change your IP address, right? You can change like your screen name, but again, the IP address, the origination of that message came from your computer. In this case, your identity, your body, your physical identity here. So, let's see here. Again, a lot of you. So as I work on one individual, just note that I'm working on you as well, so especially if you have that similar frequencies. A lot of people from all over the place. Again, thank you for that. Again, a lot of people putting in all the results that they've had. I'm new here, found Moss recently. Again, is it Nanole? I can work on you real quick. So you, again, you're new. You've tried. Seems like you've tried a lot of things. You've tried to be the nicest person ever, but then having that kindness just basically allows you to be used all the time. So no matter what you do, again, a very clean heart, trying want to be the best for everybody, but people basically just clean their emotionally dirty shoes on your, say, doormat. So you become a doormat, unfortunately, Nana, and that's what's going on. So throughout the process, I would suggest doing the 18-day meditations. Although it started 6 days ago, you can still jump in on it and just do the essential, not the accelerated, because you're new. The accelerated is too powerful for most individuals who are new. So this will allow you to, and I'm working on you now. I'm not just analyzing you, okay? I'm working on you to, say, peel that layer that you always have to, say, prove yourself to somebody, because that's where it originates. When you're a younger girl, for example, again, kind of like the first example that I gave on the talk, right? It's like you wanted somebody's attention, and then they never looked at you. So you adapted to whatever they needed, and then they never looked at you. So that's the pattern. So again, removing that, and then you don't have to prove yourself to anybody. You'll just be happy. You'll start to be happy where you are. So congratulations on that. And by the way, if I analyze you, there's so many comments, guys. Wow. This one is John Nevermore. Can you work on and scan my friend Sam? Sure. Your friend Sam, it's like your friend Sam has a feminine frequency. So again, not knowing, I don't get physical sexes. I get the underlying frequency. But so if she's a woman, again, she has a feminine identity. If she's a man, basically, either way, it doesn't really matter. Like Sam's mom, again, whether girl or man or woman, Sam's mom, yeah, Sam's mom is very controlling over Sam. So that's why I say if Sam was a guy, he would have a feminine frequency around him, or he would basically see through his mom's eyes. And then when you do that, or even if it's a woman, again, it doesn't matter. So Sam sees things through mom's eyes. So it's like he never sees anything through his eyes, okay? And then that's what's disturbing him, because it's like shit. No matter what he does, he can't get away from, say, seeing life from a different perspective, or somebody else's perspective. In this case, somebody, excuse me, somebody female. Yeah, it could be his dad, either way, but it's a feminine frequency. Okay? And that's the key. So over time, what happens is that say that guy, say he's a man. Okay, Sam is a man. He starts to feel feminine because he's seeing everything through, say, a female's eyes. Okay? And as he does that, he starts to get, say, disturbed, and then he starts to think, or other people might start to think, hey, he has got some feminine qualities, which messes up his identity, and that's what's disturbing him. So, and then sometimes, when you get to that point, you start to get really, really depressed, because especially, when you're finding, say, not happiness in your relationships, and then you get pulled apart or you get isolated. So that's where Sam is. I would suggest having a session with me, or I can work on them through you, by the way. And then when you start to pull apart like that, again, you start to get depressed, and this is where anxiety and suicidal tendencies and so on like that start to appear for you. This is, and again, please comment back on accuracy. I know I'm accurate. I don't need that. I don't need the confirmation, but it's good for you all to see the accuracy. Again, not to impress you. I don't care. I know what I do. And I know what I do works, but it's there for you to go, well, how or where did Sky Moss, where did he tap into? So it allows the possibilities or those worlds to open up for you as well, okay? Especially those people who are up and coming. This one's from, is it Nella, Delia? Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Hi, Moss, please scan me. So you, again, have actually walked away from what I talked about on the other person. You've actually found your own. You've always done things for other people. Now, from whatever you've done with XI, basically what's happening is like, well, you're starting to see your life through your eyes. And when you do, sometimes, again, when you're new like that, you don't like your life, because again, the veil has been removed, and you're seeing. So it's a great opportunity for you. So don't think of it as, oh shit, what am I going to do now? But observe your life, see what you don't like about it, and then start to change it. Right? And the way you change it, is it Nella? Yeah, Nella, is that, well, you start to see the possibilities, other possibilities. Say you're looking at your life, or the situation that you're in, and you don't like it. You don't try to change that situation, okay? Because you're already in it. Okay? You don't try to change that situation, but for you, and this is for you specifically, okay, Noah, you want to go, oh, okay, this is the situation, and then also, like I talked about earlier, is start to see, is there a pattern in the situation that I'm in? Because there's two situations that you're in that you're going to get out of, by the way, all right, and you'll do fine, although it might be a little tough for you, but you're deleting that algorithm completely for you. So for you, you're looking at that situation, and then again, because of the work that you've done, you'll start to observe, it's like, shit, I've gotten myself in this situation over and over and over and over time. That's where you're analyzing automatically, again, at the algorithms, and then once you observe that that's the pattern, not specifically the situation, now you'll go, I don't like that pattern. So you start to change the pattern, not the situation, and then you'll see it automatically, say, directs you into, say, those patterns that are beneficial for you. So again, my advice to you is to observe. The solution will show shortly after, okay? And if you don't like something, again, you'll feel it from the heart, not the mind. You'll feel it from the heart. It's like, yeah, this isn't me anymore. So you're confirming your deletions. So when you really say that, again, from the heart, obviously the head and heart are, say, in alignment this time. right? Because your heart would go one way, your head would go the other way, and you'd always follow your head. Again, and it's gotten you into trouble. I'm not saying follow your heart in general, because your heart, most people's heart is distorted as well. But if you've cleaned up, you'll see that those two come into alignment like you have. So congratulations on that. This is Morsel Aria. Hello, Moss. Please scan me. So yeah, so for you, hon, you, and again, working on you, just not analyzing you. So you'll feel the effects. Others will as well. For you, you're always you're always trying to, I want to say, protect yourself, or justify or ratify. Justify yourself. So again, you're always basically trying to prove yourself to people. You're always trying to prove yourself to, say, your boyfriend, for example, right? You get into a situation, it's okay, like a love situation, and it's 1, 2, 3. It's happened to you like 4 times. You've had 4, almost. I don't know if this is your 5th or 4th relationship. Anyway, 4 or 5 times. Every time, everything goes okay, everything is great, but then over time, what happens is that you're always trying to prove yourself to the relationship that you're in, especially love relationships, or it could be career as well, or you're proving things to yourself. So you get into situations, or you get blamed for situations all the time, right? Something happens and it's like your responsibility, or it's your fault. If it goes well, it's their, it was because of their doings, but if it doesn't go well, it's because of your doing. So that kind of pattern, again, always trying to prove yourself in life, or the person that you're with, right? So take a deep breath in. You've gotten to the point that, and then you get frustrated. And then you get frustrated, and what happens when you get frustrated, you cycle yourself down, and then you blame yourself. And again, and you start to go into a downward spiral, and that's where you've gotten in trouble before, because you go down to a certain level, and then it's like shit has to break apart. That's why, as I analyze you, it's almost like you've started your life like once or twice, like literally, like maybe you moved or you started a new career. Everything just like was fresh. That makes sense to you? And it's like, shit, I'm going to start over again. But again, if you're running the same pattern or existing in that same consciousness, that dictates that you, again, are always proving yourself. No matter how many times you restart your life, new relationship, new career, new place, it'll stay the same it'll recreate itself the same in a very short period of time. So what I was doing for you is literally stopping you from, well, cycling down. So what you will experience, excuse me, I've talked so much, my throat's kind of raw. I had a big event last night. Anyway, what you will experience is that you'll go down trying to prove yourself, and you just can't go anymore. You won't be able to, say, prove yourself. Again, you'll feel like you just hit a wall and you can't go anywhere. So, which is a good thing. Okay, it breaks the downward cycle that you're in, that it restarts you. So just observe, just wait. Okay, don't try to go forward, because you're not proving anything to yourself or anybody else. So just wait, just stop. Because even if you go forward, it's going to be pretty hard to get things done. Again, you might want to take a break, like a day or 2. You might want to, sleep a lot longer. It'll reset you. And again, just this mini session will really reset you. It'll reset you, and you look at it. You look at your life from a very different perspective. You look at your life where it's like, shit, I don't need to prove anything to anybody. I'm just going to be happy where I am, which, when you're happy where you are, it allows you to be happy in the future as well. It doesn't mean that you stay stagnant in the exile world. It just means that if you're creating, say, wholeness or abundance here, right? That's your pattern. That's the new pattern that you're creating. So again, you're just going to be here, and you're just going to go, I don't know why. I don't have to go anywhere, do anything, but I'm just happy. So that's the new pattern that I'm helping you instill. And again, I would suggest 18 days or a private session with me. Private sessions get booked, so just put yourself on a waiting list. But again, when you create wholeness and you're just happy where you are, your future will create wholeness. And if you're creating wholeness, that means abundance comes into you, health comes into you, money comes into you, because that's what you're creating. Okay, very different than say most goal setting, which doesn't work because you're always behind the 8 ball or in front of the 8 ball, right? Basically behind or in front of time. This is Kayla Wilson. Can you scan our 3-year-old talking about her old mom this morning? She hasn't seen her for a long time. I don't know. Did she get adopted or something? What does she mean, her old mom? She hasn't seen her in a long time. Or, oh, is she actually, oh, or is that her old mom from, say, a previous lifetime? It seems more like that. So that's what I'm seeing. So your 3-year-old basically is in one, two, three, sometimes at least 4 realities. So what that means is, well, your 3-year-old literally is in 4 realities. Or you can look at it as 4 different lifetimes. Okay. So what that means is that very intuitive, by the way, but if you don't align that 3-year-old properly, they'll have, like symptoms like ADD, ADHD, and so on like that, which isn't good. Gifted kids, by the way, they're highly gifted kids, and then today's society, says that they're fucked up, which is the worst thing ever. They're just very gifted, and they don't know how to hone it because the parents don't know what's going on. Society doesn't know what's going on. So then they pump them up with drugs and all that. By the way, I'm doing a talk on, I think it's called "I'm Lost." It's for the younger generation and adults who had again who understand, say, the higher the realms, but they don't know how to handle it or control it. So take a look at that coming up. Yami, if you can tell me what that is, or if you can post what the name of that talk is, that'd be fantastic, Yami. So it's posted. Can you just tell me the name for my purpose as well? Thanks. Anyway, so it's a talk. Lately, from what I've seen, and I've had dozens of clients go, "Hey, Moss, my kid is like cutting themselves. I need help." I should have known that. I need help. That's the name of the talk. So take a look at it. I'm getting dozens of clients going, "Hey, Moss, I'm out of the blue, my kids, abusing themselves or cutting themselves and all that." It's like, why is that happening? Or, "Hey, Moss, my daughter, her personality totally changed, the last, say, 2 weeks, almost instantly. So why is that happening?" And some of the other, deeper subjects. So again, if that's you or if that's your kids, take a look at "I Need Help" coming up for you. But back to this 3-year-old, for her, what I'm seeing, and you were like that too. So whoever you are, Kayla, you basically saw other realities. Does that make sense? Or you might have had imaginary friends when you were young. So your 3-year-old, again, running the same pattern, but she exists in three or four, say, moments of time. So she would literally experience her other previous lifetimes, if that makes sense. Yeah, she would experience her other previous lifetimes as a 3-year-old. It's okay if you understand that you're in this lifetime, you're experiencing those, but then what'll happen for her is like, which lifetime am I in? And that's where it gets messed up. So, so what I was doing for her is literally understanding, helping her understand which reality is happening currently. Okay, which reality is in, say, the present moment, time, space, and then it allows her to again expand her consciousness, because she, again, beautiful gifts, but it's like a power tool, right? You can create masterpieces with a power tool. Otherwise, like a chainsaw, it's a power tool. You can cut your limbs off, right? So again, helping her decipher which reality that you exist in. Basically, the 3 rules that I was talking about. Understand what reality that you create yourself, and it's the most important thing. There we go. Uh, yep, Kayla Wilson. Yeah, she said spirit. Yep, exactly. So again, her other mom, again, she's seeing again, or she's experiencing her previous life um, in this life. So people like that, again, what'll happen, and it's an easy fix, especially if she's 3. It's an easy fix for me. Again, I don't guarantee anything. I'm not a psychologist or a doctor or anything like that. But again, hundreds of kids. It's an easy fix. Um, so yeah, so it does mess kids up, by the way, radically. And this is where people or kids become despondent. They're not here. They don't listen to you, right? Or they act out. Again, those are all some of the after effects on kids living in other realities, which they shouldn't be, although they can explain, or although they can expand into those realities. As a note, please subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends about it so we can give more free content out for you. This one is from Anne's Crystal Vibes. Hi, Moss. Will you please help my son? Thank you so much. Yeah. So, so for you, Anne, you've changed so much. So I'll just tell it the way it is. So basically, before you used to suffocate your son. Simply as that, right? Because you were insecure. Your son was your, I guess, your purpose, right? And again, it's from a loving perspective, but from a frequency perspective, your son basically can't grow. So again, and that's what a lot of loving parents do, right? And again, I'm not saying you're a bad parent, you're a good parent. I'm just giving you the after effect on, what happened with your actions. So now what you've done, and again, so congratulations, you've pulled away. You pull away, you're more solid, you're happier. This is where the empty nest syndrome, right? The kids move out and the parents just don't know what the hell to do with themselves, right? They get depressed and stuff because their identity was wrapped around their kid. And worse yet, for their kid, they can't live without that parent. So anyway, so what you've done is, again, so congratulations, and you've solidified yourself. You're on your own. So your son, because you've, say, directed him, right, or told him basically what to do, pretty much, or controlled his life. Now it's like, I don't know what to do, because you're not that support person anymore. So just give him a little time. I would bring him into the 18-day meditations in the background, or have him listen to it. No matter how old he is, he seems like he's in the teen years, but then he flips back and forth to me. He feels like, 6, 7 years old. Oh, yeah. Seems like there was a divorce or a separation, or again, something to that effect, or like not a connection between you and the father. As well around 6. So he flips back and forth. Again, we can help resolve that as well. So he might even be, say, 40 years old, and he'll flip back to the time that your relationship was not the best, or a divorce happened, separation. So again, he's kind of locked in time, or a time loop. So no matter what age he gets, boom. And then now, again, you're solid, and it's like, well, where do I go now? Right? So again, give him a little time. He'll start to, say, balance or harmonize himself, and then he gets better and better. So Lolita James, and then we'll call it a day. Can you scan me, Lolita J? Sure. So for you, hon, again, kind of maybe new to XI, or if you've been here before, or a long timer, there's a newness in you, basically. So there's a newness, or a whole new awareness of possibilities. I think that's what it is. So you gave up on your dreams, from what I'm seeing, in your early 20s, like 23 to 25, right? There was that zest in life, and then something happened. You might have gotten connected with somebody, from what I'm seeing. Yeah, a connection, a relationship. Something happened, and it's like, fuck. It's just like, you lost your dreams. So basically a bad choice. in relationships, and it's just like you got put in prison, and then it's like, damn. And then what happens for you is that, say that you're on a cargo container, or like, you're on a train, and that's your prison, right? You see life, you're going through life, and you're just seeing life pass by you. It's like, oh shit, I could have been there, I could have been there, but you're not. No matter what you do, no matter how good it is, no matter how, say, wealthy you become, you're in prison because you can't. Again, it's not your life, right? Again, so you watch your life go by. So as of lately, though, and that's what's in 1, 2, 3. The last few weeks, as of lately, what's happening for you is that is that which is really beautiful. What's happening for you is that, let's take a deep breath in. You're starting to go, shit, I don't have to be in this prison anymore. So congratulations. So what I was doing for you, Lolita, is just like opening that door wider, so you don't have to peek out, of your life. Let's just open it up and just welcome you into your life. So congratulations on that. So look for more episodes on Moss on Sunday. This month is Pride Month, so we're gonna do topics, 3 or 4 topics on human sexuality, and what all that all that's about. So again, the deeper science, the deeper understanding, the first principle reason on human sexuality. So that's coming up for you. Okay, so take a look at that, and it's good for well, everybody, because we're all human. So again, um, please subscribe, please like, and again, connect to our channel. If you want to connect with me, mossajani.com. There's a ton of free YouTube stuff. So you can search on Moss on Sundays. There's other talks that I've done, podcast, exponential intelligence. Again, the science behind why things happen at a deeper level. Uh, uh, yeah, there's a ton of stuff. Just go to the website, mossajani.com. All right, guys. As we end, guys, notice what you notice, and then notice the details of what you're noticing. All right, peace.